So I realized there's two types of people in life. The ones which like to overthink and overanalyze and obviously make calculated decisions based on the action that they want to do, right? And then there's the second type of guy, which actually does the action regardless, right? Whether it's like through experiences which now affects his intuition and then just does it, They just don't analyze things and that they just don't, sometimes they just don't give a fuck. They just, whatever, just go there, right? And the perfect guy that I actually know, right? A famous guy which I actually know is Ishowspeed. His real name is like Darren Watkins, right? I always used to like hate this guy, but I realized, man, he's free spirit. The way he like acts out so free, and the way he's just so carefree, bro. It's something. It's a gift. It's a gift, and this also made me realize, sometimes being intellectual can be a curse in other situations. Such as like approaching a girl. Because have you also realized one thing? There's some girls which have been backed by some other dudes which you ask yourself, well, like, how on earth did this guy actually get this type of girl, like this hot bitch? How on earth did this nigga just get a hot bitch like that? Like, I'm more smarter, Sometimes, I even I was discussing this with some guys earlier on, right? There's some people which are like smarter than you, but I mean, they're dumber than you, but actually are ahead of you in life, right? They got more money, more girls, more clout, more status, and all that, and they're so dumber than you, bro. Let me tell you one thing: your intellect is holding you back, especially in terms of getting women. There was this other time where I approached a girl, right? When we were approaching her, basically it was this hot afternoon in Nafla. I was outside and all that. It was last week Friday. I was taking a walk, and then I saw my friend over there. Then he's like, "Oh, just call the other gents and then let's play football and all that." I was like, no. You guys always play football like 24/7. Let's just have more women in our lives and just go out and let's start cold approaching and all that. Sure, this guy joined me and stuff like that. We went out there and trust me, yo, it was really, 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 really nice. We were we were just taking a walk around the neighborhood and stuff like that. We expanded our destination and all that, and we called approached women. We called approached women that weren't even our type. We saw that they were out of our leagues and stuff like that. But and now thinking of it, right? I don't think I was actually going to be able to do that if the guy I was with was like, those calculated guys which think of what every action that they do. When you like cold approach at someone, right? And then someone's always putting an excuse. Okay, go for that girl. That girl is usually she's not my type. Her ass is too big. Stuff. What? Her ass is too big. That's for you to pound it in bed, my nigga. You just be putting up all these intellectual excuses and all that. And then there's these type of guys. They don't think. They just I don't know if it's an insult to call them that, right? But they're usually idiots. They go out there and then they just fucking do it. Like this guy that I was with, right? I like that energy, bro. I was like, definitely for sure. Next time I'm actually going out there to call approach, I'm definitely pulling you with me. The way he's like so carefree and all that. Like, oh, bro. Rather than this other, I also have like another friend. He's also like very intellectual and all that. He's very intellectual and he's a smart guy, he does attract women and all that, but he doesn't usually get them, right? I'll make a video on that, right, in the future, on how you can attract girls, but in the end of the day you end up not getting them, right? So subscribe down to get the video. Anyway, this guy's like so smart and all that. He does not pull any woman because his intellect is holding him back. He overanalyze, use data and all that. Bro, we just saw a couple of hot girls and then we just approached. So another one, so another. I even approached like someone which was like 4 years older than me and all that. I know it sounds crazy, but the way she was blushing when I was cold approaching her, when I was like talking to her and all that, it was out of the league. But she ended up rejecting me because like, no, you too young for me and all that. Usually because like women date higher and men date lower, and sure I understand, but trust me, if I was the age group, I would have got it like this. But the moral of the story here, there are some instances where you need to think things, where you need data and like all these nerdy things and stuff, right? And then there's areas where you need to just do it. If I'm gonna be honest, you see, each time I call approach, I'm barely analytical. I usually like switch off my brain, go and then just go. I don't even know what to say. I don't, when I see the girl, I just command my legs to just go up to them and then just boom, push. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to do and all that. But I then like find myself in the spot. I start with a simple hi. I don't overly, think of these pickup lines analytical. Oh, she's holding a pepper bag and all that. You see the older girl that I actually approached, right? She was wearing headsets, and usually there's this rule online: never approach a girl when she's wearing headsets, because she'll ignore you, blah 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 blah, and all that. And trust me, I've cold approached a lot of girls which have been wearing headsets a hella ton, and sure I've gotten nah, but most of the time, trust me, I barely get rejected by them. I really barely get rejected by girls which usually wear headsets. Maybe because I built a lot of experience to know what to do in the situations and all that, right? Which is something that I reckon you to do. Stop analyzing and stop watching all these YouTube videos on how, what to do, what to say to a girl, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. Just literally, it's so simple. Go outside and switch off your brain, start doing, and stop analyzing data too much.